it already has. Right now, a court hearing involving a Florida Everblades hockey player taking place in downtown Fort Myers.
Federal prosecutors charged David Cornacchia with interfering with a member of a flight crew, but now the defenseman may be changing his tune. Let's get straight out to ABC7's Stacey Deffenbaugh and sports director Jason Kurtz, who are both live right now. Let's start with Stacey. Good morning.
Hi, Nancy. We will start with me. I'll bring in Jason in a moment. I'm going to give you the legal facts of what just happened in the federal courthouse behind me. We are in downtown Fort Myers. Defenseman for the Florida Everblades, David Cornacchia, just left moments ago. He was with his attorney, Michael Horning of Fort Myers. Also, Craig Rush was here, the general manager of the Florida Everblades. Basically what happened, David Cornacchia admitted to a federal judge that he interfered with that flight crew on a flight from Toronto, Canada to Dallas, Texas. Now, the hearing took about 40 minutes or so, and the prosecutors really wanted to make sure that he was admitting to assaulting a flight attendant. Mr. Cornacchia, during the hearing, basically said he doesn't remember everything. He said that he was drinking some alcoholic beverages prior to getting on the flight. He said there was a delay in his flight. He was at the airport for about 7 hours. He says that, quote, his major mistake was taking 2 Ambien sleeping pills and then continuing to drink alcohol. He got on the plane. He says he doesn't remember a lot what happened aboard the plane. He does say that he's been seeing a counselor for alcohol abuse, and he will continue to do that until his sentencing date. Now, I do want to bring in my colleague, Jason Kurtz. Jason, this has gotten a lot of attention because he is a Florida Everblades player. What does this mean as the Blades move on with their season?
A lot of what you said you'd be expected to find in like Deffenbaugh's docket. That's the legalese. As far as the question for Everblades fans, and I think this is the big question on the tip of everyone's tongue as we head into the playoffs, will a David Cornacchia be ready to participate with the Everblades when the playoffs begin next week? And the answer we got today is absolutely positively yes. He is on a 1-year work visa. And since his job is a hockey player as an Everblade, that visa lasts through the end of the season. The question could be next year, would that visa be renewed? He does come from out of the country. He is from Canada. So would a foreign player like that get another 1-year visa for next year? That's a question that'll have to be answered down the road. But as for today, Stace, the answer is yes. He will get to play with the Everblades as they begin the playoffs next season, next week. They are in their 10th season and still chasing that elusive first-ever Kelly Cup. He's a fan favorite, an aggressor on the ice, and someone the Everblades are looking to have when the playoffs begin. I think we found out today, rest assured, David Cornacchia will be available and will be dressing for the Everblades when the playoffs start next week.
David Cornacchia in court. We should explain, Jason, a lot of you watch the show, you see a lot of courtroom video. That's state court. This is federal court. They do not allow us to bring cameras in the courtroom, so we're kind of the eyes for you in the courtroom. Cornacchia had a suit on. We're going to have some video tonight at 6. He appeared very stoic, didn't really want to comment a lot about the specifics. He closed his eyes when the judge was reading the charges against him. One quote we want to pass along, the judge says, "Do you remember slapping a flight attendant when he refused to serve you a drink?" Mr. Cornacchia saying, "I don't remember. I remember talking to him, but I don't remember slapping him." So very specific points coming out in court today for the first time.
What I got from him today was remorseful, apologetic, taking steps to move forward with his life. He's been in a counseling session once a week for alcohol abuse. He's looking to move forward, show his remorse, and hopefully he's hoping that will help with the sentencing when it comes up in 60 to 90 days.
Right. Let's tell you guys quickly, we talked to all the players in this one. Jason and I have been down here since early this morning. We talked to Craig Rush on camera, the general manager. We talked to Michael Horning, the defense attorney, and we talked to David Cornacchia. We're going to have all those interviews for you tonight at 6. We also talked to the prosecutor, but they have a comment in the U.S. Attorney's Office they have a practice, I should say, not to comment until somebody is sentenced, and that's the final point in this case. The sentencing will likely happen 60 to 90 days from now. We should say, given the federal statute, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Everybody does not think that that's possible, but is ultimately up to the federal judge in this case. I'm Stacey Deffenbaugh, along with my colleague Jason Kurtz. We're live in downtown Fort Myers.
All right, Stacey and Jason, thank you. A story we'll be following very closely, and as Stacey mentioned, we'll